and the All Indiana Podcast Network. This is the News 8 Daily 8 Podcast, a Wish TV News 8 update.
Hello, I'm Jeremy Jenkins, and this is your News 8 Daily 8 Podcast for Tuesday, July 29th. We begin on the city's far northeast side, where there is still no word on any arrests following a weekend shooting that wounded 5 people between 10 and 19 years old. Police described it as an exchange of gunfire between several people. It happened Sunday afternoon in the Deer Run subdivision near 38th and County Line Road. People who live there say that this kind of gunfire is unusual.
This neighborhood is very peaceful and quiet because all the neighbors with neighborhood watch, they watch out for each other. You don't normally have a lot of shootings in this neighborhood as opposed to other neighborhoods, in my opinion.
IMPD has still not said what may have led to the shooting. Prosecutors have charged a mother with the death of her 7-year-old child that happened in a Rush County house fire. Investigators say 31-year-old Kirsten Bowers left 4 children inside a burning home in the town of Arlington back on June 5th. One of the children died, the others made it out safely. The Rush County Sheriff's Department says Bowers initially told investigators that she fell asleep while smoking in bed. But the department says surveillance video, along with witness statements, shows she left the home, leaving the kids inside. As city leaders in Indianapolis prepare to clear out a homeless encampment in Fountain Square, more than 200 people are meeting to discuss that issue. That meeting centered on a new pilot program to help those who are unhoused. Kat Sandoval reports.
I mean, you go by the Fountain Square, we have our fountains. Nothing worse than on Saturday morning, go down there and there's people down there taking baths in the fountains.
The encampment in Leonard Street is still there, but rather than address the Fountain Square homelessness, city leaders spent much of the meeting discussing a new homeless pilot program. And that doesn't start until August.
It shouldn't be about displacement and just moving people along from neighborhood to neighborhood. That's not a solution. It shouldn't be about fining and criminalizing folks. People who are experiencing homelessness need access to housing.
The new program called Streets to Home aims to house 300 to 350 homeless individuals in the course of a year. The $8.1 million program is still in its pilot program, so they aren't able to use it at the Leonard Street encampment. The Office of Public Health and Safety instead will close the encampment. The office said the homeless population will be brought to Wheeler Mission and other similar programs, but critics say it's a Band-Aid solution.
It's a mess. Every day you deal with it.
IMPD already issued a notice to the homeless people squatting there that this campsite will close Monday, August 11th. Travis Dalton is currently squatting there.
It kind of gets me angry a little, but not much. Me and my sister was trying to find an apartment to go to anyway.
Streets to Home organizers say the program has worked in New Orleans and Houston, and it can work in Indianapolis. They say it's not just giving a home for those who need it, but resources so they can keep their place. But for some, there's no other place to go.
This could happen to you at any point, moment in life. It could happen tomorrow. You just don't know. You never know when you could be just like us. So cherish what you have. Don't judge us.
Tony Moody shared with me that he felt the neighbors who live in the area weren't consulted or heard, that plans are one-sided.
So all of this activity is taking care of the homeless, and none of it is about the people that live in Fountain Square that has to deal with it every day.
I'm Kat Sandoval for Wish TV and WishTV.com.
On to national headlines. Ghislaine Maxwell's attorney is asking the U.S. Supreme Court to overturn her conviction for recruiting and grooming girls for Jeffrey Epstein. Maxwell's attorney argues that Epstein's 2008 plea agreement in Florida should have covered her too. The Justice Department is asking the court to not hear Maxwell's appeal, but a top department lawyer interviewed Maxwell last week, prompting speculation that President Trump may consider pardoning her or commuting her prison sentence. Trump knew Epstein, but yesterday in Scotland, he again denied any wrongdoing.
For years, I wouldn't talk to Jeffrey Epstein. I wouldn't talk because he did something that was inappropriate. I never had the privilege of going to his island, and I did turn it down.
Trump says that he is allowed to give Maxwell a pardon, but that no one has asked him to. 20 states have filed a lawsuit challenging the Trump administration's demand to turn over personal data of people enrolled in federally funded food assistance like SNAP. The lawsuit says the states will not disclose what they consider to be private information of recipients out of fear it will be used to help the Trump administration's mass deportation efforts. Last week, the USDA told states it had until this Wednesday to hand over the data. The Ag Department says the data would help it combat waste and fraud in federal food programs. Let's talk sports. Indiana Pacers star Tyrese Haliburton has a new title to celebrate, Fiancé. The Pacers star proposed to his longtime girlfriend, Jay Jones. The team shared photos to social media of their big moment. The two have been together for more than 6 years now. Haliburton popped the question at Iowa State University where they first met. In his post on social media, Haliburton said, "The place where our story started and where our next chapter begins." His boot and niece Scooter were also seen in the moment. Fever star Caitlin Clark chimed in on the post too, commenting, "Wedding time. Love y'all." Speaking of Caitlin Clark, the Texas man who pleaded guilty to stalking Caitlin Clark is sentenced to 2.5 years. Yesterday, the judge recommended 55-year-old Michael Lewis serve the time in the Marion County Jail. Lewis was charged with posting hundreds of threatening and sexually explicit messages aimed at Clark on social media. He later traveled from Texas to Indianapolis. Once Lewis is released, the judge ordered him to stay away from the Fever Star and Gainbridge Fieldhouse. He also recommended that he seek mental health treatment. When it comes to the weather, it's another weather alert day because of the heat and humid conditions. Meteorologist Tara Hastings has your News 8 Daily 8 forecast.
And hang on for the next day or so, and then eventually we'll see some of those cooler temperatures move in. But until then, it is going to be a toasty one today. We've got this heat advisory still in place for most of Indiana until 8 p.m. And then off into the south and west, this extreme heat warning in place where they could see heat indices surpass 110. We've got some sunshine, a live look at the Indianapolis Zoo, where we're at 75 degrees. And at times today, we may see, especially early this morning, a few patches of fog, and that's what is being reported at the airport officially in Indianapolis. Dew point value in the lower 70s, so humidity still sky high out there. 71 degrees in South Bend and Muncie, 70 in Richmond. We're at 72 in Bloomington and Columbus, and 73 degrees right now in Evansville. Dew point values in the low 70s. We'll see those readings continue to climb into the mid 70s. Look at this, almost a dew point of 80 in St. Louis. So incredibly juicy air just off to the south and west of us. Right now on Storm Tracker, we are dry, and I do think all day today we should be on the dry side. But this frontal system just off to the north and west of us, eventually that will move in and begin to drop our temperatures and also provide us with lower humidity. Today, we'll see those temperatures climb into the low and middle 90s. Again, maybe our hottest day of the year with those heat indices between 100 and 105. We'll talk much more about storm chances and this relief, all in my 7-day forecast.
To get a peek at Tara's full forecast, just head over to wishtv.com, or you can download the Wish TV Storm Track 8 app. And don't forget to check out our Storm Track 8 weather blocks. This has been your News 8 Daily 8 podcast for Tuesday, July 29th. I'm Jeremy Jenkins for Wish TV and wishtv.com.
This is the News 8 Daily 8 podcast, a Wish TV News 8 update on demand. For even more, on demand and on the go. Connect with Wish TV on Facebook at wishtv.com and on the free Wish TV mobile app. Thank you for listening. And be sure to like, subscribe, and follow this podcast for updates every weekday morning on the All Indiana Podcast Network and wherever you get your podcast.